My name is Michael McLaughlin, and this is my presentation on the trial of the Batallón de San Patricio. Who were members of the Batallón de San Patricio? While the majority of the members of this unit were Irish, not all were. They were mostly deserters who defected from the United States military during the Mexican-American War to fight for the side of Mexico. There's a lot of debate on why they might have defected. I'm going to begin with what is probably the most popular reason. Immigrant in the United States military, most of the enlisted, if they defected to Mexico, would receive land bonuses as part of their enlistment. This table shows how much land in acres you could receive per year of service. Desertion is not a decision anyone could take lightly. As I mentioned before, about half of the unit were of Irish descent. There was a significant amount of anti Irish politics going on leading up to the Mexican American War. This political cartoon depicts in the center a caricature of an Irishman holding his hat and begging President Polk for a bit of office because he's never had none and he voted for Mr. Polk. This was promoted mostly by the Whig Party. The Whig Party were friendly to what were known as nativists in antebellum America. And nativists led multiple anti Catholic riots in America prior to the Mexican American War. This picture is a certificate showing that you were part of the Know Nothing Party, a nativist leaning extreme party, political party of uh, the Whigs. At the top, there's a banner that says, "Beware of foreign influence," over a shining image of George Washington. The most notable riot of the Know Nothings took place in Philadelphia. These are pictures of churches, Catholic churches, that were burned in the riots. After the riots in Philadelphia, the Know Nothing Party created what they hoped would be adopted as the new national anthem called See Our Torn Flag Still Waving. And in this song, they encouraged Americans to stop the incoming horde, referring to immigrants, especially Irish immigrants. The trials of the San Patricios is very interesting. Desertion, as anyone outside or even inside the military can tell you, is a very heavy crime. In the 1800s, however, most people who were being tried for the crime of desertion received death by firing squad. The San Patricios were hanged very publicly, and this painting shows the second day of hangings that occurred. In the distance, you can see vaguely the top of Chapultepec Castle, and if you look closely, there's what looks like a flag hovering over it. During their hanging, it was timed that their gallows would drop at the moment the American flag rose over Chapultepec Castle after American forces took it before they went on to capture Mexico City and win the war. The San Patricios, I believe, have a very understated impact on American history. This is a picture of General Winfield Scott. Winfield Scott was the officer in charge of their trials and had authority over their punishments. Now, as I said before, and as a former member of the military, I'm not going to sit here and deny to you that desertion is a crime that deserves consequences. With that being said, what is strange about the San Patricio trial is that none of these soldiers were American citizens. When I was serving, I was an American citizen. And if I had deserted, I don't think there would be any question that I deserved the trial that decided the consequences of those actions. I believe that with the San Patricios, the question is a lot murkier because none of these men were true citizens of the United States, nor were they guaranteed citizenship at the end of their enlistment, which is something that can be taken for granted in today's military. Winfield Scott would go on to run for president, and there are existing documents of Whig Party periodicals. Who he was the presidential nominee for the Whig Party that list several stories about how kind he was to the Irish and how much he did for the Irish. And yet, in the same periodical by the Signal, they have a small article acknowledging that he was part of the trials, but that the executions were carried out by Democratic officers. So there's a very clear desire to distance himself from this trial. In the end, Winfield Scott lost to Zachary Pierce. And these are my sources.